Hello, all my chickadees. Welcome back to my nest. Today, we're going to be continuing with our spooky games to honor our lovely spooky month, the best month of the year, in my opinion. And we're going to be playing the demo of Hardships of a Vampire. This game just dropped for the Spooktober game jam that just ended. And I'm excited to see how this is going to go. We have, I'm guessing, are they all vampires, or is this one a vampire? He's got red eyes, so maybe he's a vampire? I see a little pumpkin on the pumpkin witch over here chilling. So we're just going to jump in and check this out. As always, I go in as blind as I can. So let's see. Did we just get hit by a car? Oh no! It hurts. Am I dying? Oh no. What is it that you think you wish for? My wishes. Hardships of a Vampire. Oh, did we suddenly 3 years later? Ooh, I see Halloween stuff. Oh look, it's little like skulls and witches and hats. Ooh. Oliver sat back in his stool, yawning. He wasn't sleepy, but feeling tired had become a routine for him. It was 2 a.m. The place was very quiet. This was usually the slowest time of the night. The workers on night shift either already went home or were just wrapping up with their works. And considering the area this convenience store was in, not many people would step out at this hour, unless they were from an undesirable lot. Hey, you're alive! Ooh, are those eyeballs? Oh, I guess they're probably like eyeball jellies or candies or something. You're alive! Did you become a vampire, though? Oliver had already experienced this undesirable sort of customer service several times. The worst ones would have thrown any normal person into an early grave. But Oliver wasn't exactly normal. He wondered if it was more of a blessing or a curse. If Oliver was normal, he probably wouldn't have been stuck at this convenience store every night, surrounded only by the silence. The eerie quietness made him feel like he was the only thing alive in this world. He would be willing to welcome anyone who visited, even the undesirable customers. Yo, Miss Me Beauty. Suddenly, a cheerful voice broke him out of his internal musings. The greeting came even before the door was fully opened, and the welcome bell sounded. Oh, hello! Wow, that shirt's really tight on you, bud. Oliver immediately recognized who the voice belonged to. In came Leo, a regular customer who visited the store almost every night. Can you give me the usual, please? If by the usual you mean the curry bread, it's on the top shelf, 2 rows behind you. Please retrieve it and bring it to the counter. Come on, couldn't you say me one behind there? They usually sell out so quickly. I'm lucky there's only one left. It's against our store's policy. Look at him pout. He's like, I want you to treat me like I'm special. Peas and carrots. You're no fun, as usual. I still love you, though. Oliver blushed at his demeanor. He would have been used to that by now. After all, Leo always threw that word around whenever he visited. Oliver wondered if it was something he carelessly said to every store clerk he met. You know you missed me too. Don't think I didn't see your dopey face before I even entered the store. Was I that obvious? Well, you have me to save you from boredom here. At least for a little while. Here, you can keep the change. Already told you I can't do that. Oliver dutifully took out the change from the register and handed it back to Leo, along with the bread. I want one. You're so stubborn. Bending the rules a little isn't killing anyone, you know. It's not like those cameras actually work either, I can tell. Oliver had no idea how Leo knew that fact. He was only aware of the deception after some goods in the store was stolen, and he requested the camera footage. Turned out those cameras were all dummies, and his pay would be docked for any stolen items. It wasn't a great memory. If I broke a rule once, I would feel alright breaking it a second time, then a third, then eventually all the rules meant to keep things here in order would be violated. I would get in great trouble. That's not a future I want to see myself in. Fair. I guess I like that about you. You're too different from me. We a good boy. We're obeying the rules. It was true. Leo's personality could be considered Oliver's polar opposite. Oliver still remembered how they first met. It was on another night like this, but a bit earlier. It was close to midnight. Oh, is this a flashback? Yeah, it is, because look, no Halloween items here. And also, let me say, I love the little bats here on the side of the chat box. It's really cute. A tired woman in a factory uniform stepped in. She did not stop by any specific aisle. Instead, she went straight for the store clerk and asked him for some takeaway mixed noodles. Then the woman leaned in and whispered to Oliver. There's a strange man sitting in front of the store. I think I saw blood on his clothes. Can you help escort me out? It sounded like another gang member. The criminal activity had become very active near this area. Oliver felt he would not be surprised if someone decided to use the steps to his storefront as a place to loaf around. One unusual stipulation of Oliver's contract was that he was responsible for ensuring the safety of his customers, at least within the vicinity of the store. He reluctantly nodded. After he finished processing the transaction, Oliver led the woman outside as promised. Oh, you are covered in blood, bud. Ooh, I like your collar. Indeed, there was a man sitting outside. His figure, while slender, seemed quite muscular. That's not your own blood, is it? And he was bleeding. Okay, it is his own blood. And he was bleeding. A lot. Oliver could already see the blood pooling near the ground he sat on. The mess would be terribly difficult to clean up, and the front step already looked like a crime scene. As Oliver observed the man, his gaze was met with curiosity. While they were having a staring contest, the customer slipped away into the night. Suddenly, the stranger broke their silence. I know I'm pretty, but you don't have to stare that long. Oliver scoffed at him. He was more concerned about the mess this guy was making. Okay, I get it. Sorry for taking up the space here, but the store is the only place with the lights on around these damn blocks. Can you just let me rest here for a moment? Pretty please? I'll leave right away when my legs no longer feel like a pair of jelly sticks. Get in. Eh? I said get in. I'm not letting you sit there and bleed out in front of our store. That would scare the customers off and I'd get in trouble. Oliver held out his hand, waiting for the stranger to take it. I have a first aid kit in the back room. Let me patch you up. You fucking serious? Oliver kept holding his hand out, refusing to answer. The stranger finally grabbed Oliver's hand and laughed. You're a strange one. How are you still alive up till now? I wondered about that too. That was how Oliver would have answered. To be helped up by a cute store clerk like you. This is certainly a first. Can't say I hate it though. The name's Leo. What can I call you, pretty? Oliver. Yep. So, we pretty much, brought Puppy home. We didn't bring him home, but I mean, you helped him, and then he's coming back. He's like, I like you, and he keeps coming back. That's what happened. Shortly afterwards, Leo revealed most of the blood seeping from his clothes wasn't his. Oliver could not fathom how his clothes could have been this soaked. Oliver was terrified that he was dealing with a murderer. Leo acted as if it was nothing. However, He just cheerfully waved goodbye to Oliver after the clerk patched him up. Ever since then, Leo kept coming back. It was once every week at first, then turned into once every 3 days. Somehow, it ended up becoming every day. Oliver was nervous with interactions at first, but Leo always greeted him cheerfully. He would buy a few products and engage in some small talk every time he visited. After a while, Oliver became used to his presence. He eventually felt grateful for it. Leo helped the clerk get distracted from the dreadful silence, even if just for a little while. Did it matter if Leo might have been a murderer? Leo was a friend, and Oliver believed he looked past that. Like, yeah, you come in here and you talk to me, so I won't be lonely. I will look over the fact that you probably murdered someone. So, is he a vampire? Is my question. Is he in a gang or is he a vampire? Nice decorations you got here. It's already that time of year, huh? Yeah, Halloween. Even though no sane people would go trick-or-treating around these parts of town. Would you like to support us and buy some eyeball candies? They're the ultra-realistic edition. Perfect to distract any potential I can't talk. Perfect to distract any potential attackers. Wow, whose marketing pitch was that? It sounds fitting. I'm glad you think it might work. For some reason, our boss thought these candies would be a hit in our store. I would buy a bag if you hand feed them to me. Sorry, that request is borderline harassment. It's like, no. Figured you'd say that. How's your day going? Nothing much, just work. Why, I appreciate seeing your cute face every day. You should get some days off and go out with me sometime. I could be more fun than being holed up in here every night. I appreciate the invitation, but my rent won't pay itself. He literally just asked us out on a date, and Oliver's like, no, I'm good. Plus, Oliver was skeptical about what Leo considered fun, considering his profession. While he wouldn't mind what Leo was doing to life, he would rather stay out of trouble. Oh, doing to live, not live. Oh my gosh. You work too hard. I understand that you don't have much of a choice, given your condition, but maybe you could accept my help once in a while. Oh, does he know we're a vampire? You sure you don't want to visit me to track down that hit-and-run asshole? It's been a while since we last talked, and I'm sure I can leverage my connections. Oh, so he knows that Oliver got hit by a car, and I guess Are we a vampire now? So he knows that? So is he a vampire? I'm trying to figure this out without cheating and looking at the game page. But he knows about it. Don't trouble yourself with that. It's not like my condition can be miraculously cured if you find them. But I appreciate the thought. Oliver told Leo that he couldn't get any day job after having been struck by a car some time ago. The collision damaged some part of his frontal cortex, causing him to experience terrible headaches when exposed to daylight. Oh, that sucks. Horrible headaches when exposed to daylight? Oh, never mind. He had me there. That was the closest to the truth he can tell Leo. Yeah, because he's a vampire. That was a good excuse, though. That was a good excuse. He had me. Well, gotta get going. I guess the boss is getting impatient waiting for me. Leo finished his curry bread and threw the packaging into the trash. You should be careful. This area is getting dangerous now that Halloween is drawing near. You never know if someone in a costume would stab you with a knife. One that you thought was just a prop. I've lived here for 3 years. I know how to avoid trouble. And during those 3 years, this convenience store was attacked 5 times. 3 of which was during your usual shift hours. Oh my gosh, really? You failed to mention that. Don't look at me like that. I know these kinds of things. It's a miracle you're still alive. A miracle indeed. Oliver stubbornly kept his mouth shut. He refused to continue their discussion. Acknowledging the cue, Leo shook his head and turned away. Leo knows something's up, don't he? I need to go now, but be sure to text or call me if you need any help. And don't do anything reckless. Yeah, I get it. But you should probably take your own advice as well, considering how often you turn up here, all roughed up. I'm glad you care. You know you love me. Not this again. I'm off. See you. As Leo left the store, everything fell into silence again. Oliver wouldn't say it, but he felt a bit down every time Leo left. He was fun to talk to, and Oliver really enjoyed his frequent visits. In the silence, it was hard not to let his mind wander back to the starry state he was in. Welcome! Oliver broke out of his thoughts, just to see another customer enter the store. It was a kid that Oliver recognized. Hello, kid. He had visited this store quite a few times, sometimes even with other young friends. Why are you out so late? Why are you out? Shouldn't you be in bed? Oliver remembered that the other kids called him John. Because Oliver's shift was always during ungodly hours, he could remember almost every single regular who swung by. This kid left a particular impression. He was one of the younger folk who kept going out at night. Oliver wondered if he had any curfew from his family. Clearly not. And perhaps he was just too sensitive, but Oliver felt like this kid always sneaked glances at him. Or just openly staring, like now. Can I help? How can I help you? John walked to the counter, picked up a packet of gum, and handed a few coins to Oliver, eyes still fixated on him. Oliver rang up the gum packet and handed it back to John awkwardly. Thank you for your patronage. John nodded and left the store. What a strange kid. Yeah, that is a strange kid. Oliver's shift passed uneventfully after that. Just a few more patrons paid their visits, picked up a few snacks, and left just as quickly. Most people wouldn't want to hang around this part of town after sundown any longer than they could afford to. 4 a.m., it was getting close to the end of his shift. Oliver knew the old inventory truck would arrive soon. Just as expected, he could hear the sound of an engine approaching the store. The rumbling stopped at the doorstep. As Oliver opened the door and greeted the driver, he could see someone at the back of the truck, already unloading the boxes of goods. Elias, you're early today. Oh, look, he's got heterochromia. He's got a red eye and a purple eye. Ooh, he pretty. A handsome, white-haired man fully stepped out from behind the truck. He carried a big box with his arms. Hello, Oliver. I hope you had a pleasant night at work. It's all right. You don't need to do this. Your shift isn't until another half hour. Well, I'm already here, and I consider this a great morning exercise. I can't really just stand here and watch you carry all these boxes with that little body of yours. It wasn't my fault that my body only developed this far. Plus, I can lift these just fine. Oliver picked up a box to prove his point. Surely it's the lack of nutrition. You don't look like you eat nearly enough. Oliver doubted that any more nutrition would improve his build now, but he was not going to tell Elias that. Elias was a friendly co-worker who would always lend a hand to Oliver at work. He started working here nearly the same time as Oliver. He was one of the workers who stayed on the job the longest, next to Oliver. Convenience store jobs in this area had the highest turnover rate, for obvious reasons. While Oliver had his own reason to be stuck at this job, he was quite curious about Elias. The young man seemed to be very much different from him as well. Elias was just so perfect. His hair, his face, dressing style, mannerisms, and confident posture clearly demonstrated that he was raised with a privileged upbringing. Then why are you working at a convenience store? He always showed up looking impeccable and was very competent at his job. He looked like someone who should be showing up to a luxurious parties of the upper class, not a lowly convenience store in the dangerous part of town. Oliver didn't pry because he had his own secrets, but the other co-workers also became curious. They ended up asking the worker. "It's just to get life experience," Elias had said. Oliver didn't really buy it. Then again, it was none of his business. "We keepin' our nose out of other people's business." At long last, they managed to load all the boxes inside and restock all their shelves. "Ooh, you're tall." Now that was a good exercise. Oliver felt sure it was, considering Elias had carried at least 3/4 of the boxes. "Thank you. You don't need to help me every night, though." I wanted to help. I always worried that your little body would get buried underneath the mountain of boxes one day. I'm not that small, but thank you. Oliver was quite conscientious around Elias. Perhaps it was just him being conceited, but he felt that Elias was being extra nice around him. The presentation was as different as night and day, but Elias always went out of his way to help him. Being too close to someone so perfect always made Oliver want to squirm. Oliver wondered if Elias helped him out of pity, considering most of the co-workers knew about his brain damage condition. Deep down, Oliver enjoyed the attention. Oliver hurt the Oliver. Whoa! Oliver stumbled back, surprised by the closeness. I apologize. I tried to get your attention, but it seemed you dozed off to dreamland again. It's fine. What is it? Since it's almost your time to leave, how about getting something to eat? Maybe you can finally bulk up that frame with some food in you. Saying this, Elias handed Oliver a translucent plastic packet. I bought these on my way here for breakfast, and I decided to get an extra one for you. They're good, just fresh out of the oven in the early morning. Aw, he got us food. Oliver stared at the plastic packet. It was a loaf of bread. Garlic bread. Garlic bread. Oh gosh. Bud, you meant well, but we're highly allergic to garlic. Highly allergic. Yeah, yeah. He's gonna kill us. Our coworker's gonna freaking kill us with bread. The bread was golden brown, with the yellow color of the butter and the specks of garlic. It was still warm in his hand. Oliver could imagine how good it would taste. The first time he had eaten garlic bread was at the orphanage, when a volunteer gave him half a leftover loaf. The bread was already somewhat cold and hard, but it was still one of the best foods he had tasted. Oh, he was in the orphanage. He's really had a hard life. That small dream, however, was short-lived because of his cursed body. Thank you, Elias, but I'm allergic to garlic. Also, you shouldn't eat garlic before your shift. Your mouth might smell like it when you serve customers. Handing the loaf of bread back to Elias, Oliver quickly regretted his petty comment. Elias looked a bit taken back. Thankfully, the young man didn't seem to be offended, and he just smiled back at Oliver apologetically. He was trying to feed us. Sorry, that was short-sighted of me. I'll definitely avoid garlic before work next time. No, you didn't know I was allergic, and you don't need to spend your money on me. Don't worry, these loaves were inexpensive today, and I noticed how your eyes seem to light up whenever someone brings nice food to work. Was I that obvious? It'd be embarrassing if everyone at work thought he was a glutton. Don't worry. Only I could pick that up. We've been co-workers for 3 years. I know what to look for sometimes. He can't eat. Can he still eat human food, or can he only drink blood now? Because maybe he misses the food, or he's hungry and he's like, I wish I had food. The way Elias said the word together made Oliver's chest tingled. There's something oddly suggestive about it. Well, I have to go now. See you. Oliver picked up his bag and ran to the back room to change. He could hear Elias laughing softly behind him. I'll see you again very soon. I have the evening shift today, too. If Oliver wasn't so naturally pale, his face would have turned beet red. Talking to Elias always made him feel flustered. Aw, you like him. It was like the man had been trying to get a reaction out of him, but he wouldn't have any reason to do that. Thank you for playing the demo. It's over. No. That's Elias. And that's Leo, right? Hardships of a vampire. I've got so many questions. This is a demo. The full game is in production. Let me see. I'm gonna have a link down below so you guys can go check out the game page and, follow it if you're interested in it. I was interested in it. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't say anything about the other two, so I'm guessing those two are human. One's in a gang but I think they both like them. They both like our boy, and our boy likes them. He has a friend, and he has possibly a crush. Oliver's not going to admit to it, huh? But he's really had a hard life if he's was in an orphanage, and then he got freaking hit by a car and turned into a vampire, and now he has to work every night at this shady convenience store. Alright, thank you for joining, and I will look forward to playing more of this game when the full game is out, and I hope you guys have a spooky day today. Bye!